I'm being hyped from the crowd, it's amazing.
I do think we've improved in a sense that we're finding new ways to play with a lot of role swapping and stuff like this.
VP strategies changed a lot since I came here. I think we'll be stronger in the next series. This is the best players in CIS. The best coach and best players.
Goals are both lifting the trophy and getting a Mercedes, maybe giving it to my parents.
We will try to win this tournament and we will try to get another Mercedes.
I think me, Puppy and Midone, we really want revenge from the match before and last year. So it would be nice to not give them Husker.
And we played with secret strategies, with Zeus Venomancers. That's really nasty, but we managed to run over them. I think we can do the same again. You know we're VP, right?
May the best team win.
Vodafone presents the pre-match.
Lower bracket final time, everyone. It's Virtus.pro versus Vici Gaming, and versus Secret rather first, and the winner will get to play Vici Gaming in the grand final. They await whoever goes through for a best of 5. Now these two teams, they match up well. They played each other a ton of times over the last few years. However, Secret have only won one best of 3 against Virtus.pro in the last 16 months. They do face some history here. Let's get some views then on the two teams from our panel members once more. We're back with Trent, Blitz, and Kyle. Gents, we'll start with Virtus.pro. Kyle, it's got a great record against Secret. Does it matter? Did you ever think about that as a player when you went into a match, whether it was in Horn, whether it was in Dota? Did you go and think, guys, we always beat this team, it's going to be great?
Unfortunately, I had more experience with the opposite end of that. And if you lose to the same team over and over, it definitely messes with you a bit, because it's like at that point you've tried what you usually would do. You've probably tried the new stuff, and now you're in a decision and it's like, all right, well, I don't even know. Secret, I think, is in a different sort of position because one, they're much better than any of the teams I played on, and B, they have this new read that I think is gonna have VP's number. Like, they don't have supports. Like, they have 3 supports that are all kind of semi-offlaners, and I feel like their strategies are a lot more complex right now.
Okay, we'll get to VP in just a moment. Blitz, why are they so good at what they do? Why are they so, is it just natural talent? You know, again, Kyle and I were talking about this. Is it just natural talent? They're all naturally talented, great mechanically, understand the game to a high level. What is it that makes them so great, VP?
I think VP, that every single player on their team is top tier at their position. I think that they play this like blend of aggression that most teams aren't used to. Like when you see VP play against teams that are even a little bit weaker than them, they get stomped out of the water because they're so good at taking those micro advantages. That's why sometimes I'll see VP play a team that I would consider tier 1. If they get any sort of draft advantage, they get a lane advantage, they snowball that so quickly, because I think their greatest strength is that they all want to do the same thing. They want to run at you, they want to take towers, they want to get map control as fast as possible and just dominate you in the mid game. And at the same time, they also have this all-star player in No One who rarely, if ever, loses his lane. And that's the only time I see them consistently lose is when he messes up mid, something bad happens, the game sort of snowballs out of control. I mean, this guy was beating Miracle when I felt like Miracle was unbeatable. If you go back and watch the Frankfurt Major, the one that OG ended up winning, they got knocked down to the lower bracket by the Vega Squadron team that he was on, and it was because he was able to beat Miracle mid. Nobody was doing that at the time. This time around, things got flipped around because he lost mid to Ori, and you see how much they rely on him dominating his lane.
Yeah, that third game, really, that came into play, right? Lina versus the Invoker, no one got absolutely stomped. But the first point about how they dominate teams who I think they maybe are just like a little weaker than them, that happened a lot in game 2. Like Solo just completely abused that lane on the Dazzle with a Terrorblade, and that whole game was just over because this Terrorblade had a game out of nowhere, and by virtue of that, Yang had no game on that Pugna. So I think VP, they're very good at they don't give you the game because they just want to take it away in the first 5 minutes.
Okay. Team Secret, Kyle. like many teams, they've got effectively a stand-in, is what they're playing with, because he's brand new to the team. We've seen many of the other teams like Forward and EG playing with stand-in. They're kind of playing with stand-in Nisha because they haven't played with him before, obviously before TI. So they've got a new player in there. Zion not quite so new to them because they knew him before, but they've changed 2 players. How have they managed to make this work when other teams haven't?
Well, they have a bit more time. Stand-in's a bit of a stretch. They've been playing together for like 2 months now almost. But I think Nisha, the 4 players on Secret complement Nisha because they're all cerebral. They're thinkers, and it's very rare that you can have this, not just have 3 players confident on playing something like a Phoenix or an Enigma, but regardless of where they're playing, like they know where they need to be, what they're responsible for. Nisha effectively just has to like play his game. You know, Yapster was saying in the interview yesterday, it just feels natural, and that's why it's fun to watch them. It just looks like a team that's up there, comfortable in their role, like they're enjoying playing Dota. And I think that that's something that, if you have that, it doesn't matter how long you play together.
No. And in terms of the role swaps, Will, it seems quite flexible in there, doesn't it? I mean, yesterday we even saw Puppy as the 3rd highest on the net worth at one point in the game. It's almost like they were like, I'm just going to prioritize this farm for the first 10 minutes and then you guys can go back to normal. They've had Yapsor playing as a 3, they've had Zai going back to 4 and then flipping back to the 3. There's a lot of flexibility in this team.
Yeah, it sort of reminds me of the NBA, another 5-on-5 thing where you want to play positionless basketball, you play positionless Dota. Anybody can be anything. The better the game gets and the more we move along, the more it follows that kind of timeline where everyone should be able to play anything. I remember back then it was like, certain heroes would never move anywhere else. DK was a mid hero for 10 years in Dota 1 and Dota 2. In the beginning of Dota 2, all of a sudden I start seeing it off lane, in the safe lane. I start seeing heroes I've never seen in the safe. I saw an off lane Storm at the last TI. Like, there are things that people are doing that they never would have dreamed of. That was the first time I had not seen Storm in a mid lane in a professional game. And so when Dota evolves towards this, the players have to match that pace. You have to be comfortable playing anything and everything. And that is going to be the advantage of this Team Secret because they've had so many players play different roles, they've worn different hats. I mean, Yapsor at this point, I don't even know what to call him when it comes to his position. Is he the carry? At some point he is. Is he the mid player because mid one's roaming around? I don't really understand
We've changed mid one's name anyway, side one now anyway. So thank you very much, gents. Let's get some more views as we head upstairs for the Vodafone view and find out which players they picked out to watch in our lower bracket final.
Thank you so much, Red Eye. Woo, we have got some picks for you today. Now, it ain't just alliteration, but I want to talk about the mid one and the no one.
The 2 ones.
The 2 ones. Who will be number 1 after this match, Burge?
I'm really not sure. I think Secret has been doing super well this tournament. VP obviously has far more wins in the last year at DPC events, especially ESL Ones, grabbing their favorite item. But I think what I've noticed is that mid one is playing extremely well right now, and they play slightly different styles. No one's always been like that lane dominator mid, one of the best mids in the world. And on the other side, mid one has been playing more of a space creator. Sometimes having lanes that aren't very good, sometimes doing Monkey King, roaming to get things happening on his map. I feel like that could make the difference if there is some weird lane that they're able to rotate him away from.
Yeah, I agree with it completely. Mid one is always this super aggressive, well, actually, he comes in later as like your Ember Spirit and stuff like that, saving the game later in the time. And then no one is just pounded out, he's going in early.
It's actually the opposite way.
What?
That's what I just said. Yeah, you were not listening at all.
What are you talking about? No, mid one is the one who plays Ember Spirit.
Yeah, he does, but he's been playing a lot of like Monkey King early game stuff, ditching his lane because they pick him into a bad matchup. Then he roams around at like level 3, gets things done. That's what I'm trying to say. No one does not,
we're on the same page.
If no one leaves his lane, he's going to the jungle.
We don't have to argue here, okay? We were just talking about, you know what? In our opinion, they're both number 1.
They're good.
All right, they're both good guys. All right, back to you on the pin.
Thank you very much. Getting out of hand up there. Get steady on, guys. A no one and mid one were the 2 guys picked out. Kyle, you all right with that?
It's fine. I mean, it's the most poetic, right? You know, it sounds right.
Right. Literally.
They're the ones, I don't want to say that matter, but like, Ramses and Nisha are great, but in a lot of ways, they're not the ones that, they're trusted to win the game, but the mid player is the one that actually controls the tempo. And I think that if we ever have a scenario where one player 70-30s or better, that mid lane, their team will win, just based on that advantage. It's really the only lane nowadays you can get such a significant advantage, because it's a pure 1v1 for the most part.
Okay, we'll get some more thoughts from all 3 of our members of the panel in just a moment, but ladies and gentlemen, it is time to introduce you to our 2 teams.
Hamburg. Are you ready? This is your championship day. One person, one turn, one player will be taking this amazing vehicle you see right here. So do make sure to vote. We're gonna find out one player will be taking that beautiful Mercedes-Benz over there. That trophy as well will be crowned to one of these three teams. Ladies and gentlemen, Hamburg, are we ready? This first team are the three-time ESL One champions. They are looking very strong and they definitely want to keep that run going. Please welcome to the stage, Virtus.pro! And here they are, Virtus.pro. Last year, these two teams faced each other right here at Hamburg for a grand final. So you can say that this is a grudge match, but Team Secret has a new roster and they are looking strong. If anyone are looking to dethrone the champs, this team is looking to make that happen. Are they set to do it? Let's welcome them to the stage, Team Secret! Team Secret. Hamburg, this is your championship day, and what a way to get it started! Virtus.pro versus Team Secret!
Yes, indeed. We are ready for series number one of the day. Absolutely fantastic. Two terrific teams going head-to-head, as Eri said, that met here last year. Last time out, it was Virtus.pro who comes out on top. This time around, doesn't get to claim the trophy just yet, because they've still got to get past Vici Gaming in a best of 5. Ordinarily, we'd be looking at this one going, it's Puppy versus Solo. It could be very interesting in the draft. Things have changed, however, over the last couple of months, and it's now Ramses alongside his coach Arzik who will be the drafters, and they'll be going head-to-head with Sumbi and Puppy. So, gents, what does that do for us, Will? What does that change in terms of the way this draft is going to play out?
I think Arzik brings them a unique feel, at least. Like, he plays different heroes when he was on his team, and I feel like, more importantly, they needed new ideas, because they were kind of getting a little bit stale with what they were doing. I mean, we saw TI, like, part of the problem was that they lost all their lanes every single game. And I feel like they just didn't really know what to do. Artstyle was probably telling them, like, this probably works. Like, it's been working all year, how can we really change it? Arzik is probably like, guys, this is what we need to do to win. We need to change these things up. You have a fresher perspective. People will listen to you more in the beginning. I feel like they're going to be able to recover.
agree with everything you said. It goes back to just what we were talking about the other day about how you can't have a coach for too long because you start to sort of become the team you're coaching. And I feel like art style was also a bit of a negative influence on the team. And I think they just needed somebody that still had like hunger, passion, like something to prove, right? If you're a coach of a team, you win a few majors, like it's easy to just get cocky, you know, you got the best teams. I felt like their strategies really suffered at TI. And I think that was because the tactician perhaps was relying on his teams being better than everyone else, which just is never the case at a world championship.
I like the confidence he's already showing though, RZ, right? In that little pre-game interview he's talking about, like, yeah, we're gonna smash this, we're Virtus.pro, don't know if you've seen us before. This guy coming out of his like tier 2 days, just comes out here like, yo, welcome to Virtus.pro, boys. I love that.
Yo, if they win this one, they'll have 4, and then they might as well just like keep it going. They win.
Yeah, they gotta get
2 more this year. I think you get 6 total. You just start giving them out, close friends and family. Who needs a Benz for Christmas?
I see it coming. Do you think so, Paul? Can they do it? Can they win another Benz?
Well, I think they have to get to the grand final first. I think that's part of it.
Is that not now?
No.
Oh,
See,
I saw
think
VP
that's,
Secret.
That's the confusion. See, I got confused earlier on.
Yeah.
It's because Kyle also said to me this is kind of like the final. I don't want to be disrespectful to VG.
Yeah, you guys are haters.
They've played well. Right?
VG are going to win this thing.
But this is last year's final. This is kind of the best 2 teams right now in the way that we're watching the game. But VG are still there, Kyle. They're in the grand final.
I mean, there's like 2 ways this goes, right? Either Secret 2-1's VP and then 3-2's VG, or VP 2-1 Secret and then gets 3-1 by VG. But I think no matter what, Secret, the way these matchups work, I think Secret's got a much better chance of taking down VG.
Okay. So despite the history.
History schmistory.
Stats schmats.
I mean, you can't learn anything from the past, please.
Wait, beautiful. What? Okay. All right, I thought you could learn something from the past. If we learn anything from the past, gents, what is it we've learned about secrets drafting? Because it's been wild, this tournament. You've called it experimental. I think Puppy even said, you know, yeah, we are experimenting. That's not a lack of focus on the tournament. They want to win the tournament, but they don't mind not winning the tournament if they learn more from it.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
It's too early to judge, like, how good are we, right?
Right.
Roster change, that's not happening. It's more, they're still in the feeling out phase. They don't know yet what they're the best at. So, you know, just have some fun, and they are.
I like this approach already, though. Virtus.pro, they were in the lab last night. They're just banning out Veno. You heard Arzik mention it in the pregame. He's like, this thing's so annoying to play against. He's like, yeah, we ran it over once. You know, maybe we can do it again. They just banned it first phase.
The Veno gives them what they call liquid bad dreams, right? Because they've had plenty of those games. They don't want any more of those.
It's the perfect secret hero right now. You can play it on 4 of their players, probably 5.
Yeah. Puppy used to love playing it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 90 GPM talent at level 10. Yeah. It's really strong laner if you get an advantage, and provides team fight, cancels blinks. Like, it's an anti-playmaker. It's so difficult to play the VP style if you're always going to go up against a vision disadvantage because there's just wards on every high ground.
Yeah, talking of vision, Weaver's out as well.
I think they're trying to first pick Phoenix on Virtus.pro.
Yep, I think that hero is going to be critical for both sides in this match.
Yeah.
Does the Tiny get a ban here? It's been a popular first phase ban. Has been let through a few times, of course.
They could just let the Phoenix through and then take Tiny themselves.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they take Phoenix, and then you could take like Tiny Axe or something like that.
No, I don't think so. Not into Phoenix.
Oh, I mean that would lock you. You go Tiny plus. The response last time was Tiny Wyvern.
Yeah.
No, I don't think Secret does that. They know VP is willing to first 2 Phoenix against them. I'm sure they game planned for this. I think they'll have something we haven't seen before, at least in their openers.
I see. So no Ogre, no Tiny.
I could see it in Ogre. I don't think you want a Tiny into Phoenix here.
I think I like the Brew again. I feel like that's been one of the better looking heroes for Team Secret. I think throughout the series too, that Enigma, it has been removed already, but I feel like that's what the first pick team wants. So,
I could see it.
Yeah, let's see what they value here. I think the Brew's nice too because it already preempts the TB that Virtus.pro really like to play, and carry-wise, they've already taken nothing more.
What do you guys think about the fact that neither of these teams have been touching Necrophos? It's like been like completely absent in all the drafts for both teams.
I think it's a product of the play styles.
Probably
Both teams want like playing fast. Necro's the slowest hero in Dota.
Yeah, I think Team Secret played it once in the group stages against DG.
Yeah, pretty shockingly low compared to most teams.
Yeah, whereas Vici has been running it.
Yeah, like if Yang gets that, that's when I feel confident about VG gaming.
Yeah. It's because like You use a basketball analogy. I'll use like pretend we're playing 5-man soccer, right? Secret prefers like this 2-3. You have 2 cores and then the 3 floaters, right? Vici prefers a 3-2, and that's where I think Necro shines a bit more because you have 3 cores to build around.
You know, you just called it soccer in Hamburg, right? They don't like that.
Yeah, but
Careful now.
I was gonna say football, but I don't know.
Sport. Invoker, Brew opening from Secret.
I think both of these are in response to what Virtus.pro play. I think if this was any other team, they might have gone a different direction.
Agreed.
But because you're playing against Virtus.pro, who probably want that TB, you preempt it, and more importantly, you second pick that Invoker, because Virtus.pro in the first pick, they have to reveal their mid anyways. So even if you open up Invoker here as your second pick, which they did yesterday, I don't think they care too much.
Well, it's also the last time they played, 2 days ago. VP first picked Phoenix, Secret responded Rubik Brew, and immediately VP snap picked Invoker. And I think that they would have been prepared to do the same thing here. And I like this choice because this Brew could be any role, right?
Yep.
And the Invoker is just still the best mid hero in Dota, even though it's been losing a bit.
Yeah. I think my favorite part is that since these teams have already played, you get these like weird meta mind games of who picks what.
It's like an extended, like kind of best of 5 sort of deal where they're just kind of picking up where they left off after their first best of 3.
I mean, that was such an exciting draft, the way that VP just kept trapping them
in the Huskar.
Game 1 and 3.
Huskar twice.
So they take the axe themselves. So no Ogre.
No, got let through.
I'm not surprised, to be honest. I think when teams of this caliber meet each other, heroes like Ogre kind of fall to the wayside. You can pick them up later in the draft, but I don't think you want to build around something that's going to limit one of your players in just his influence on the map.
Yeah.
Like a Phoenix versus an Ogre, like when you have top teams, you're going to come down to those team fights. The Phoenix side is going to be favored.
Do you think they... Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, do you think they take the Ogre here if they don't take Brew? Because then you have the option of getting the TB, or you're more comfortable picking it, and then you'd have a TB with Bloodlust.
That's true. I think probably just a second phase thought, kind of like the Magnus too, whereas they also have the second pick coming out of the phase, so they can kind of see what VP's angling towards maybe and see if the Ogre still looks okay.
Yeah. So you take a ban here, you might think that these are both support heroes, but we have seen Pasha just dominate on the axe. He did yesterday against Vici in Game 2.
And we've seen the Phoenix used as a core.
Yeah.
I think they like the core axe a lot more with the... I mean, we'll see, but I foresee VP going back to their bread and butter, which is like either Kunkka Mag in combination or just the one, but specifically Kunkka against Invoker mid is a matchup they really favor, because Invoker has an incredibly difficult time beating your Kunkka, especially no one Kunkka. I've seen him body some players.
Yeah, no one is just insanely aggressive, especially on like heroes you don't expect them to be. Like, and during that mid gyro phase, like no one was the gyro who'd be playing between your tier 2 and your tier 3 kind of deal when you're not expecting it. And he found so many kills that way.
Yeah. What do you? Oh, okay. So they banned Coddle out as their last ban.
Been like a secret staple, works with the Brew in lane too, if they wanted to make the Brew core potentially.
They played Coddle. Again, they played Coddle in a losing effort. I know he had like a Hex and everything. He was quite farm.
Yeah, against VP actually, but the ban definitely demonstrates they still give it respect.
And a Skywrath ban. Okay, very nice. Secret kind of on top of it, right? Thinking back, I mean, that was very obnoxious to play against.
It's cool to watch these teams draft against each other because these really aren't meta bans. You know, there's no other teams that are going to get Rubik Coddle banned second phase, but it's just the weird little niches these teams find themselves in. What's surprising is that Shaker is still in the pool and completely untouched, whereas we see multiple other teams that'll just first pick that no matter what. But
yeah, Secret aren't a renowned Shaker team, are
Oh,
they?
that's cool. So they kind of guarded it with the Brewmaster too.
Yeah, and they slow down the pace of the game a little bit. And what I like about Secret lately, and they've kind of adjusted, is I think what they probably learned from the VP series is we should slow down the game, not really play on their terms, be able to go into the late game. Like, I really like it when VP or when Secret have the win condition for the late game.
Yep.
Right.
When they don't have to rush things. That's where their greedier style, where you can allow Yapsor to come online as one of your cores as well, really pays off for itself.
But in contrast to that, do you think VP is just going to put pedal to the floor right now?
So that's what I feel like when I was watching Secret's greedier style, I was thinking to myself, like, a team like Virtus.pro or Liquid should try to take advantage of that and just take every tower, try to fight you around the map, fight for the lanes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's complex, right? Because you have to make sure you don't lose your lanes, because VP can just snowball off that, win a game.
Yeah.
I think you need this hero like Brew that removes VP's ability to easily team fight you, and then to your point, have that trump card in the late game. Like, don't be on a timer. And if you can check all those boxes, I think you're going to come out with an advantage.
Yeah, I like that way of putting it. That's always how a lot of people that I work with put it as well. It's like, don't put yourself on a timer against certain teams. Like against I remember when we were on DC, we were thinking to ourselves, like, when you play against any teams, definitely don't put yourself on a timer. Like, just pick Rezo, Anti-Mage. You'll win the game eventually. Whereas if you play against, like, for example, it does matter between regions and stuff like that.
It does.
Whereas, like, you play against Chinese teams, you have to be willing to play these mid-game strats because they will fight for every little bit of the map.
Yep. That's a good point.
It looks like speed gaming here, right? Virtus.pro going for that Chen. They're ready to go.
Yeah, we saw the counter the Chen last time though, which was what Secret did. They just picked 3 really mobile cores that couldn't get pressured in lane. But this time around, I mean, the Invoker can definitely get pressured in lane by Chen.
This is a value CM pick because the attack speed talent for the Phoenix Egg as well as the Chen.
Nice
Value, dude. And she's a
I'll
Yule's
give you
builder with the
against
GPM talent.
I think it's, yeah, sure, the attack speed talent.
Dude, that's a level 20 value, okay? You got to take those value points when you get them.
Yeah.
So I think this is a very good Storm.
Yeah, great Storm game. I love playing Storm with Chen specifically.
Yeah.
Like anything that can give Storm the ability to stay on map longer is nice. You have all this sustain.
The only thing
ability to secure the lane.
My only concern anyways is that I just don't. Your laning phase is going to be a little bit weak right now. I think it's going to be a bit annoying to play. Like, and Chen ganking for the Storm doesn't really do too much.
And I also don't, it's not the greatest Storm game in a lot of ways. Like, you don't really like playing against all this disabled from Secret. Like, Storm hates playing against tanky heroes, and Storm hates playing against multiple methods of catch. And right now, like, we haven't seen this Orchid Invoker in a while, but even like a Yule's later on could be effective. Secret's got the last pick, of course. CM Root.
I don't mind CM. I think Necro's annoying to play against, though.
Yeah.
You just get a Yule's and you can never kill him.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'd like to see this Storm go for like Kaya and a Bloodstone, just scale as well.
Yep.
Try and keep up with like this later looking focus from Secret.
I was trying to do like Kaya and an Orchid, but it feels like a slower build.
Yeah, it's also, you're too squishy, right? It feels like you need to connect with your first Orchid move, or you're gonna, like if you die trying to make a play, you're now like a 1300 HP hero, and it just feels bad. There's a lot of emphasis on the last pick for VP though. Ramses has to do a ton of building damage, and I still feel like they're gonna lose team fights at this point, even without seeing Secret's last pick. Bit limited on burst as well, so playing against a Necro with all these methods of peel, I'm sure.
And Brewmaster, where you're trying to take him down.
The CM's gonna be going for a Glimmer Cape, like first or second item.
Wow.
So you need some sort of carry on Virtus.pro. I mean, what are the options that you would feel comfortable with? I think PL I'd be all right with.
Did I get better than the TB? TB into like the Panda. I guess PL to the Panda has all the same issues.
I mean, I don't know if you want to do it when Secret is last pick, but you could just Huskar them again.
They Huskard them 9th last time, right?
Yeah, they did. They did once.
Because the mid was revealed. I mean, that was the big question coming into this game is, would the Huskar happen once more?
They banned PL.
So does that mean they're taking the TB from themselves?
Nah, they're gonna pick Huskar, dude.
Oh, they take Luna.
Okay, never mind.
So Luna returns to the Virtus.pro lineup.
Faster paced carry for sure.
Burst
Playing with
nuke
the
damage
aura.
too.
She needs a little bit of time. Yep.
Dude, there is so much pressure on Pasha to have a good game, and I feel like if you're Secret, all you need to ensure Ramses doesn't like have a completely free game, but just don't give Pasha, room to have a Vanguard blink at like 12, 13 minutes. And it's that same scenario where none of the VP cores can really move that effectively.
I like the Luna here. I think she deals well with the Brew. She's nice against the Necro too.
But it's a support Brew.
Yeah, I mean, you just get a BKB and you can cut through these heroes anyways.
That's true.
Glaives are nice this game. So you
take
take the TB.
Okay. Looked very good on it last time. Team coordination for sure.
And they addressed the Luna, but that does boost the effectiveness of the No-1 Storm as well. So there isn't really much for a Storm. I know I said there was possibly a difficult game, but now it's looking like a 4 or 5 item Storm could just have no real method of, like, you can't kill him, and then he picks up an Aegis, and CM's gonna die at the start of every fight.
So check out the SAP overview. You can see there's a decent synergy on both sides. Virtus.pro slightly ahead, I guess, but more threat from the Team Secret side of Heroes. Gents, which way is this going?
It's a really tough one to call.
It is tough.
It's a very tight draft. I think both teams understand one another. They've got win conditions. I'm gonna give this. I'm gonna favor VP like 52%.
Okay, Will.
I'm gonna stick with my guns. I chose VP.
Yes.
So I will go with VP.
Okay, Trent.
Gonna go Team Secret, like the CM, like the Terrorblade.
Bit of team fight.
Easy. The Brewmaster, too good.
The Brewmaster, too good. You heard it here first from the panel. That's their thoughts. Then let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1, Virtus.pro versus Team Secret.
Virtus.pro up against Team Secret. What a way to start the final day here at ESL One Hamburg. As myself, Odie Pixel and Fog are ready to take you through this one. We've just seen the 2 lineups. I think we've heard it from the panel. Sort of mixed feelings. Both sides seem to have a lot of synergy, a lot of things that could work out. The potential for a really strong Storm game for no one.
Yep.
What was sort of your big takeaway from what we've seen these 2 teams bring to the fray?
My big takeaway is excitement. We've got Nisha on Terrorblade, we've got Mid1 on Invoker, we got no one on Storm Spirit. Come on, man. This should be a treat to watch. Hopefully we can have it to get to the point where we get those late stages for lots of crucial fights. But we're gonna be looking a lot at this early game. In particular, I'm gonna be watching Solo on this Chen to how much he can actually defend his Luna.
I mean, what are sort of the odds on this game going on to those later stages? Is there a lineup here that you feel could sort of crush the laning stage, really start to get ahead from an early mark?
I think Chen is one of the bigger factors always to influence lanes. I think Pasha also needs to have a really good game for VP to get the ball rolling, but then looking at the grand scheme of things is the Storm Spirit doesn't have a crazy amount of disables he really has to deal with until some levels start coming out. Reaper Scythe, the Pando gets his split, but those disables, they're not really that reliable, right? Frostbite is their most reliable one once you get to that point. But I think this might be a Quaswex game that we're going to see coming out of Mid1 so that he can actually go for the control that his team wants.
So we'll see Secret available on this top room, but at the same time, VP should be able to go for the 2 down bottom themselves. It's Blast coming out, Yapsel slowing them down. Secret will not. So close enough for that one. So bounty runes.
3 for VP.
Taking top. Yeah, VP are going to get the 2 down bottom. So 3 to begin with. Pasha prepared for the lane. He's got the double stout ready to go on the axe. And it's going to be up against what looks to be Zai and Puppey coming together. The Necrophos and, of course, this Puppey, this support Brewmaster that we've seen Secret like to run.
So Pasha, I think the idea behind this double stout shield here, he's versus Necrophos. He doesn't want to lane versus that Necrophos. He wants to just cut the creep waves and be able to tank it up. So that's what I'm thinking he's going to be doing here. He's already positioning himself. He's giving the Phoenix the first wave, and I already see him walking into position to take that second wave on this axe. So yeah. As expected, when you're playing a core axe versus a Necrophos, you have to try to find your own type of farm. You don't want to play in his face in the lane. And in the top lane, I'm going to be looking at Secret applying a ton of pressure. That's where I was talking about. Solo has to have a big influence in this laning phase somehow versus this lineup up top, because Ramses is definitely going to be under the gun.
Pasha cutting the way, Puppey trying to do what he can to punish the axe for this play, but it's going to be hard to do so, as we said with the 2 stouts, the way that Pasha can get away with this.
He's just going to stand back here, and then it's going to be pretty much Roger in a weird 1v1. He's going to just try pulling the hard camp over and over again as his axe tries to maximize.
We'll see Zai start to head over and have a bit of a look towards Pasha as well. They do have the clap slow. Puppey can get in range, but as it were, Pasha, just as it is sort of running a distance, and the bottom lane in a bit of a different place now.
Yep.
As it's resorted to the jungle.
The thing is that VP, they're displaying they're distributing their resources nicely. Pasha's now doing the small camp, and at the same time, Roger has pulled that hard camp. So great play by VP in the start in that bottom lane. But top, VP is getting pressured very heavily as well. These safe lanes are not really the safest. Although Zaya is still doing very well in those last hits on the Necrophos.
This top lane Ramses only 2 CS at 2 minutes in compared to Nisha. 8 for 3 on this top lane. Secret managing to make sure This dual lane really favors their own carry.
Yeah.
As Ramses, he's going to have a slow start this game on the Luna.
That'll happen, right? The first meta usage, and your Chen isn't level 2 yet, so you can't get your creep. Now Solo has a creep, so we'll see if he can actually secure Ramses' farm up here as Nisha just constantly getting aggressive. They know Ramses is down to only 1 tango here, but this is where the creep comes into play.
They'll try and fight back. They've got the Hellbear Smasher with the clap. It's a good amount of nuke damage, bringing Nisha down low. Yapzor tries to slow the two of them, but the vision there with the creep, it allows Ramses to get another Lucid Beam off. Nisha will be able to escape. As they'll, as you say, see the sort of first potential of fighting back. Just sort of doing what he can. Mid lane Puppey comes in for a bit of harass onto no one, has to TP away. And does manage to make it out just in time.
No one's doing excellent in that mid matchup right now. 14-3 to the 9-0 of mid one.
And we'll see how that sort of changes as the levels 2 start to build up. Bottom lane, Solo. The pressure pays off, gets the kill onto Yapzor. So it really is, as you say, you know, a lot on the Chen in these lanes. Yep. Solo starting to show his hand and even up on this top lane. Make there a bit of space for Ramses to get that farm that he has fallen behind in off the back of the first few waves.
He's still not really getting a whole lot. It's like Solo gets the kill, so his net worth is increased, but Luna is still all the way down to 900, and it just keeps having to use money for regen. So he's brought out a salve, but Ramses has, if you look at his inventory, he just has like Circlet and the components of a magic wand, but besides that, he's quite naked.
Yeah, absolutely out of regen at the moment, so it does have to hold back by the tower.
Ooh,
Solo. See if Yapzor can chase this. He's catching up. He's gonna have one more spell to go. Solo goes straight for the TP on the high ground, but is not gonna get out. Yapzor's in, has the blast just in time. Same time mid. Puppey comes in with the wraparound. He's got the clap slow. Tornado from mid one. Finishes off no one. The Secret quick to make moves back in both lanes. Roger seeing if he can get Yapzor. He does get the Fire Spirit upon him. He's got the Tango regen, but it's not going to keep him alive, as Roger will manage to take Yapzor in return for losing his Chen Solo up there in their own jungle.
Action-packed start. You see Puppey, he's completely just left the bottom lane because he's like, all right, now we have this weird matchup where Axe is just cutting everything, and Necrophos is fine with this because he can actually farm and keep sustained, even if he has any creep waves on him. He's even, his eyes maximizing nicely too. He's pulling into the neutral camps every single time while Pasha's doing similar.
And is this what you have to do when you have an Axe on the opposite side? Is there just nothing you can do to sort of stop Pasha getting away with his farm? Because leaving the lane as it is, as you say, sure, Zai, he's going to farm, but Pasha, he's going to get free farm as well.
You gotta just accept it from the way that they did it from the start. They didn't see it coming, the double stout shield quirk, they don't have the best heroes to pull the, and they want to be sure to set up Nisha for success, right? They can't put so many resources into Zai trying to shut down a Pasha Axe. They need to make sure that their Terror Blade's getting good farm. But Puppey is making the rotations. Since they have this Quaswex Invoker, this Brewmaster is actually quite a big of a threat whenever he makes the move towards that storm.
On top. People will get in. They'll be able to pick up the bounty rune with Ramses, and with the two of them, him and Solo, they'll find Yapzor. Lucid Beam gets the job done. Nisha has got the Metamorphosis. He'll turn towards Ramses. Ramses with the stick charge. Keeps his distance. Puppey and Nisha turn back towards Solo. Another Lucid Beam coming out as Ramses. He wants to go back in. He sees that Nisha's low. If they can keep the vision for one more Lucid Beam, he can do it, and he can! Ramses! Despite how low he is, coming back in, securing the double kill, getting the TP out, back to the shrine. Perfect aggression there for the Luna. Bottom lane, Reaper's Scythe comes down onto Pasha, but it's not enough to finish him off. And as soon as that plays happen, VP, you know, they find the double kill, they go back to the shrine, and they're now looking for smoke players. At the same time, Roger and Pasha, they're still playing around with Zai down bottom. They know he's not got any scythe. Again, these Fire Spirits from Roger bringing Zai incredibly low, and it's enough. Roger with the Phoenix play. It's mid one. Does have the Tornado. Roger is out of spell, so should drop to this. But he's making mid one work for it. Mid one's had to leave the middle lane for this. And it does get them the kill onto Roger. But both sides really testing one another, coming out with these fast plays. Top lane, not again. Ramses and Solo? They should have this. Nisha's trying to hide in the jungle. If Ramses can find one Lucid Beam, it will do it. Yapzor is there to make sure he can't go any further, and they do keep Nisha alive, but we're seeing how much Ramses and Solo can do with sort of this chase down, the buff to the damage, and then these hard-hitting Lucent Beams just shredding the Terror Blade in lane.
Yeah, and just how powerful Chen really can be. That tornado creep in around that bounty area was absolutely phenomenal. Solo getting the right creep at the right time. And now Pasha, since he survived that original Reaper site, they were able to make that aggressive move, and now he's just gonna go back to cutting waves. He's going for the Rush Hood build this time instead of like the Vanguard we've seen, since he's versus that overwhelming amount of magic damage as we look at Secret's lineup. They do just have a crazy amount until that Tower Blade starts getting fine. But Tower Blade, Nisha, he's now starting just getting bullied. His
really
constant
is.
Lucent Beam spam is too much for him.
Mid lane Puppey tried to start picking up some levels. Roger and no one go aggressive on him. Mid one has now returned back to the middle. Tornado set up onto Roger. I mean, they get the kill on the Phoenix, keep Puppey safe. Pasha is hiding around at the side. Puppey's got to be careful that he doesn't come around on the trees and get caught out by a call. He won't. Mid one might, though. As there's the walk in, Pasha has the call. They get on top of Mid one with the remnants. The dunk a little early, though. As Mid one gets the ghost walk off.
I think he got the stick off at the same time as when the dunk came out.
Stop.
It's very close.
Again, Solo just playing in this area around the secret shop, around the back of this tier 1 tower. It's making this top lane feel very unsafe for Secret to keep Nisha in. He's struggling to find the farm. We saw at the start, sort of the first 3 minutes, Ramsey's getting nothing. Now you look at the CS, he's caught right back up and he's overtaking the Terrorblade now because of what Solo's doing on this Chen.
And once the levels start building up on Ramses, you're actually not you don't feel the safest as a Terrorblade. That high magic damage nuke is the bane of Terrorblade's existence early on, and Mid one will find another kill onto Roger here.
Yeah, that quick sort of disable with the cold snap to mess up the dive.
That was like 3 in a row on Roger that he's able to find there.
As we'll see sort of how this pays off for both mid laners, is because Mid one on his Invoker being incredibly active. Up and down the map, he's getting involved in these kills, but you look at the farm, the CS on the Storm, he's doubling it. He's got 54 CS and such. As you see, it's paying off for both sides. They're still even in net worth, despite the very different approach to the game with the heroes that you're using, both Mid one and No one.
This is the play style that we've been seeing from Secret, right? Mid one is all about just hunting, going for frags in every single game they've been playing now. Doesn't matter the hero, he's just the big playmaker while they try to make space for Nisha. And Nisha, he's definitely gonna need that space. He's been bullied quite hard after having the first few waves go well, but after some levels get building up on the Luna and the Chen, he is definitely pressured and relegated to the jungle for quite some time now.
Secret, they will find the tower. Roger tries for a deny, but Zai is there with the CS. It's 5 for 5 as it stands. 9 minutes in. Only under a 1K difference between the two teams at the moment. As we know, both have the potential to battle through the mid game. You've got this strong TB that's going to continue scaling on the side of Secret, and then the Luna VP, which is going to be potent at all points.
Both teams are doing a similar kind of move here too. They're giving their supports now the mid lane. The big team fighters, Brewmaster level 5, Phoenix level 5, both of them duking it on the mid so they can have that 6, so that the next few moves that they make, they'll have at least an ulti to be able to take that kind of fight. But mid one, he's in position here. He sees that Roger's trying to get that 6, so he wants to try to kill him beforehand. And now the urn has been finished up for mid one, so that always allows you to get better kill threat and better kill movements as this Invoker early on.
Well, those consistent ticks makes it hard for heroes like the Phoenix to dive away.
Yep.
With the urn and the cold snap upon him.
So it can also be obnoxious for the Storm too. Like we have seen time and time again that you just get comboed down, tornado lands, the cold snap hits you, you get hit by EMP, and that's where you can get dropped. EMP this game could definitely cause some problems on the side of VP. Don't really know who's going to be the mana boot buyer. It would probably be the Chen, but besides that, you usually want to have at least one versus these Invokers. If you do just get hit by a big EMP in the team fights, it could just completely ensue disaster.
Bottom lane, mid one. Again with these movements, hunting persistently for action, and with Gapso and Zai, they'll get away with it again, taking Pasha down. This Invoker, one of the most mobile Invokers we've seen so far here.
And look at this, immediately, mid one, he gets to the side shop, gets a TP, he's got urn charges now, so he knows he can just keep looking to set up for kills. He's probably gonna call for a TP in the front after he gets a tornado connection on Ramses here, if Ramses doesn't see this coming. But he does, he's able to back away. Ramses has gone for the full farm build. I actually prefer this build to the 4 in Lucent Beam. You go for the 3-4. So you can always go to the jungle, you get that extra glaive. That last point in glaives is really important because it goes from 3 bounces to 6 bounces, so optimizing your jungle.
It's mid lane. 2 supports, as we see now, have their level 6s. Split available for Puppey. Supernova now ready from Roger. And Roger will get that smoke on its way out. As both sides, VP in particular, ready to hunt for a play. Maybe see if they can sort of punish the movements from mid one. He's been getting away with a lot across the map.
The thing is that Secret, they're a bit more mobile because of this Invoker right now. He can constantly move around, making the moves to secure Nisha, this farm that he's going to be getting. Look at Nisha, he's just been jungling for quite some time, and he's starting to catch back up in that net worth. His team, when they have their 4 as a unit on Secret, they are pretty strong. Invoker, CM, Necro, and Brewmaster, they will be able to take fights unless VP does have that number advantage. which I don't know if they always will, because you know Ramses, he wants to be doing the same thing as the Terrorblade, right? He wants to just be farming. So we're looking at the other 4 of VP. They could definitely struggle until Axe gets Blink Dagger versus Secret's 4-man team fight.
See what Mid1 can find on the hunt. Roger, alone in the jungle, just outside of the vision at night time.
He's trying to get wards down right now, trying to make sure that they can keep tabs on Nisha at least somehow. So they place down now 3 aggressive wards in the jungle. It does get scanned.
It does get scanned.
You know that Roger's there.
They'll know that that wall was placed around that area. Or at least there's a likelihood that it was. Indeed, it is. So we'll see if Secret do look to play around that or look to take it off the map.
Mid1's just going to keep looking for the hunt. Just every single time he sees some type of opportunity. Just always walking around and ghost walk that mobility. Solo has been isolated in the jungle here. Won't be spotted out.
Yeah, they'll settle for Solo. He will pop the Hand of God. And no way he can escape, as they'll take Solo, and they'll take his creeps as well. Holding them down with the Frostbite, they'll be able to remove the full Chen army. Secret now starting to build a little lead. 2K advantage. Zai is sitting at the top of the net worth with this Necrophos that's already proved to be quite a hero to tackle. He's got the hood, he's close to having the Yule Scepter.
Scans on Nisha, Roger. Starting to slow him down, but it's on top of a shrine. We even saw no one start to make the rotation over, since he does have a DD rune in that Storm Spirit's bottle, but they get pushed away as soon as that TP happens, and the movement continues. Look at Mid1, constantly on the hunt inside that Ghost Walk. 4 wards committed by VP inside of Secret's jungle to try to at least know where the Terrorblade is, so they can try to set up time for smoke ganks, or the Storm can look for something. Cold snap.
Power of the cold snap, just making it so hard for Roger to escape each and every time, or maybe with the backup of no one, he's going to be okay. The Tornado does come out, but no one, he's straight on top of Mid1 with the Remnants, bursting this Invoker down low. He's got the Invoke backup, so can Ghost walk to safety. Now no one. He's used a lot of his mana. He's got a little left to slide down to the river, but the Primal splits out from Puppey. See if you can close the gap to disable the Storm Spirit. Solo, he's going to look to send no one back to home. Roger's there, but indeed the Dispel comes out. So the send home's not going to be there in time. Puppey bringing in the rest of the Primal Split Brulings to surround him. Punch him down with the stun. They're moving in. No one's got a little bit of mana to keep the distance. Now Puppey is left back. The clap open up with the Tornado. Mid1 from the low ground. The freezing field as well. Yaptor, one more touch will do it. And they get the kill on the Storm. They get the Supernova. And they'll get Solo 2 potentially as Mid1 Yaptor chase down the Chen. Cold snap comes into play. Pasha, he is starting to walk across. Solo's got the stick charges, but the right clicks from Mid1 are too much. They get Solo. Secret finding 3 heroes at VP. As that fight, that commitment there from Puppey getting in, as we saw, dispelling the send back, so Storm had to stick around. VP were forced to fight, but it was this angle where Mid1, he comes in with his long-range Tornado from the low ground, and VP, they were just all thrown about. As we'll see this again. Mid1's
cold snap from the low ground, so he gets the follow-up disable. No one goes up, but look at this.
Look at this
long-range Tornado.
It just hits the 2 of them.
Beautiful. Sets up for the freezing field, then they have 3 heroes isolating around an egg, and it's just a Chen. Chen can't really help too much there. They needed Pasha a bit sooner, but he just had picked up that Blink Dagger. As in the real game, Zai able to find 2 kills. He actually finds a huge one onto Ramses with the Reaper, so Ramses is dead for 60 seconds.
Now they may have lost the Invoker for that, but again, another trade the Secret will be very happy with.
Absolutely. I mean, Nisha's been left alone during all this, like we were talking about. The 4-man movements by Secret, they have the stronger lineup until the Axe gets the Blink. Pasha now does have that Blink in the last few moments. He has gotten it, so they really have to make a lot happen off of it for VP. They have to be making these moves with the Storm, with the Axe simultaneously to find Ramses a space to farm so he can match Nisha's Terrorblade, who's starting to...
Pasha will be able to blink up to the high ground, but indeed, waiting there ready was Zai. Pasha pretty beefy with the hood, and will want to be able to walk away from this, even with more TPs potentially coming in. So he gets himself out. Of course, very fast starting timings this game from Zai. The Yule Scepter, 14 minutes and 44 seconds in, on top of the hood.
The new standard build that we see from Necro. Hood, Yules, Radiance, incredibly good versus Axe in particular. Anytime you can have a Yule Scepter, we've mentioned it time and time again, being able to stop that call, that blade mail damage that will come out later on.
Zai.
And Ramses just finally respawns. That is such a long time where the Terrorblade's allowed to actually now move his way up that Luna's farm, because Ramses was about 1,000 gold ahead of him before he did die.
They really want to try and get Zai. It's such a big kill. It'll be worth a heck of a lot if they can. Supernova's being committed for this one as well. They'll zip in. They'll take Zai, and they'll get Yapzor as well. VP able to strike back against the pressure the Secret have been applying for the most part of this early stage of the game. Getting Zai. That's a big kill to find. As Zai, as we say, he's done 3 games so far. Now Secret. They're ready to continue this fight, keep it going. The Primal splits out from Puppey. Solo having to back up. A little bit of a heal comes through from Roger. But the Brewlings focusing down onto Solo. He escaped another Urn Heal, keeping Solo alive. Mid1 does have to go Sword because no one made the zip straight towards him. Ramsey's there as well. They'll get the call, the control straight onto Puppey as the Brew Primal Split ends. VP more than happy there for Secret to keep that fight going as they get those 2 extra kills. The top tier 1 tower does get taken meanwhile by Nisha. Pasha tries to come in to defend, but with the Metamorphosis up, it's a little too much for Pasha to deal with. One of them, Roger, will be left behind. He's looking for it. No point messing around with the Fog Winking, just for out a Tornado. And top lane with a freezing field. Not only will they get a tower, they'll get Pasha as well.
And Nisha finally gets involved in a kill now too. 1-1, 148 last hits on this Tower Blade.
Starting to seem that every time we see VP able to hit back after initial brawl and get close to getting a kill. Secret, with the fact that they have this slight lead and these sort of heroes like this Necrophos, I mean, like the Brew and the Invoker that are pretty elusive, hard to catch. As we every time Mid1 sliding around the fights with the Ghost Walk, just ducking and diving back and forth. It's hard for them to control these heroes. We talked a lot about the difficulty it would be for Secret to lock down the Storm, but likewise, you look towards VP's side, it's all long Pasha to get a big call. Otherwise, these heroes, they're going to be able to find the perfect position to fight from every time from Secret's lineup.
Yeah, I mean, they just don't have the control. They have the Electric Vortex once you get more levels, and now he's starting to get some more points in it, but besides that, the early game, their disable is very lacking besides that Axe. Who has to go for, he's going to be going for that Blade Mail first item, but has to go for a BKB afterwards. You're playing versus these Eul Scepters, you're playing versus heavy magic damage, playing versus Invoker, just an absolutely needed item in this game as early as possible. This time though, this is a little bit of a different style, right? This time Zai is actually able to get farmed. They've set him up for success. He's on the Necrophos. It's a great game for this hero too, since he's versus that core Axe. So they're actually prioritizing him getting some farm in this game besides like, of course, Yaps are still always farming, but you see Mid1, he's starting to tick down a little bit on that net worth just because he's the hunter, while Zai is the one who's going to be pushing out lanes and actually farming. And Mid1 on the prowl.
Zai, as we see, no surprise there with the timings he's hitting. A well above average game. He's bringing us on the Necrophos.
Solo in a lot of trouble here. Mid1 just
waiting
and waiting.
He knows he's spooked. He'll wait. Make Solo use the dust. So that's an extra bit of a win. A consumable down and a life as well. Even an ult. As they'll find Solo and force all 3 of them out of it.
Huh. He's been using the ult a lot just for himself, and it has a pretty long cooldown.
150 seconds without it.
Yeah.
It's a long cooldown indeed, and can be the make or break. Sometimes a hero gets caught under the Reaper's Scythe, you sort of offer that extra bit of burst heal, could be the difference it makes to keep that target alive.
Roger's trying to stack these Ancients, but it is under ward vision of Secret. They're actually making a very sneaky play. They're just walking into the pit here after that kill.
With the Metamorphosis.
And Alacrity.
It's going to be very quick.
Yep.
VP don't look to be in any position to head over as a team, not even having anyone nearby to go for a potential steal. Pasha's farming Ancients. You have no one just making a beeline straight towards the bottom to push it out. Secret, they're going to get away with this one absolutely free.
VP, what it tells me is like they use that Chen heal because they're just like, all right, we're just going to try to play the farm game. But Puppey, he's invis on top of Ramsey.
He's ready to start off a fight. Indeed, Ramsey's in trouble. The Spirit Vessel down onto him. Yapso's got the disable with the Frostbite, and that's Shikari gone. So not only is the opposition Secret, they've got the Aegis, they're now pushing against a team that doesn't have their carry ready to defend. As they move the creep wave up to the tier 2, they'll keep on pushing forward. Those last 3 moments of the Metamorphosis does now wear off.
But Nisha's already at a point where he's absolutely massive. 10,000 net worth. Manta Dragonlance finished.
25 seconds still without the Lino. Secret may back up and just look to take the outer towers. The tier 2s are still there on the side lanes.
And like the panel had mentioned, Noah in this game, he's not looking for that Orchid build. He doesn't want to go for trying to find just individual kills. He's going for the Bloodstone greedy build. They want to be able to play this game toward that later stages. But right now, Secret, I don't think they're going to be too unhappy with that, with the way that they're farming on their Terrorblade, with the way they're farming on their Necrophos. Because Zai, I'm pretty sure he's about to have that Relic finished up. And yeah, he's at 300 gold away from it.
And that really is the sort of the power of having a Terrorblade in your lineup. Sure, you know, it gets to late game, he's scary sort of at all points, but because he has this Metamorphosis, you can see 20 minutes in, you take a fight, make sure that you have the numbers advantage, you can get in there and you can start threatening high ground incredibly early with this hero.
And especially when you have a hero like this Brewmaster. I mean, Puppey's been phenomenal on it every single time.
He's straight in every time.
His splits have been like just perfect. He's just finding the right heroes, he's in the right place at the right time. And they're applying so much pressure because of this Brew and as well as mid one. Yeah. They're just like running around as this duo, always able to find kills and kind of just mess up VP's rhythm that they're trying to go for to get all this farm up. And the map control too. We look at all the towers being taken down right now for Secret, like you were mentioning. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4 towers already. We see on the side of VP, they've only been able to claim that bottom tier 1. So their invasion plays to try to hunt this Tower Blade is just that much more difficult right now, as they don't really have any aggressive wards down. They only have these 2 defensive wards at the moment. Their moves are looking a bit limited right now, especially versus this Aegis.
They're going to have another move coming in against them right now as Secret smoked up. Ramses has to be careful in a little bit of a scary position. Secret are able to sweep into this jungle.
He needs to have a BKB before they can even try to take any type of fight.
He's very close.
Yeah.
But maybe not close enough. Secret start to poke at Roger. Reflection as well being used as they'll chase across the tree line again. Cold snaps onto him. Roger, he'll let himself die. Doesn't want to waste the supernova. Knows that he has to keep that for the high ground, but he's out of the game for 40 seconds.
Straight away. They're going up on high ground.
Puppy's not there though. Puppy's decided to TP top to hold off the defense, make sure they don't lose a tier 1. A quick call from Pasha trying to pull Nisha's attention away from these mid lane racks and tier 3s. 25 seconds, no Phoenix.
They have a ward on top of Ramses. They actually do see him farming as...
No one's gonna go for the big zip in, but still at this point, not really much of a threat. Nisha's got the alacrity from mid one. The tier 3 is gonna be taken. They're not backing off yet, Secret. Still having the Aegis for 2 minutes on Nisha. They're feeling incredibly confident.
Ramses has the BKB now. He TP's back, he's gonna pick it up. This is where VP's gonna try to take a fight. As soon as their Phoenix is up, they have to try to commit forward before they lose this Rax.
Here we go. This is the timing that VP needs to do something. The melee Rax falling low. The EMP's gonna be laid down. No one goes to the back of it all. Ramses moves in with the BKB and the Eclipse. They look towards Nisha, trying to get himself on top, but he's gonna have the Aegis to even bring down once they can. The egg, kick him down once. He's gonna be off again. The egg comes through. Zai does fall. Can they kill that Terrorblade a second time? Nisha starts to walk off. Quick proc here from the Storm Spirit, the jump from Pasha. They've got the further disable. Lucid beam down onto Nisha, zip forward, he gets the Sunder off onto Solo. He's back up to 4 with the heavy damage from VP, the knockdown. Yapzor with the freezing field keeps them away from Nisha. Nisha survives. And Secret, can they actually finish off the racks?
Oh, no one gets Nisha.
In. No one does him straight back into the fray. He's not done with just Yeet Nisha. He gets Yapzor as well.
The Rax has survived, both of them.
They kept the Rax alive. Even though Secret was somehow able to take that initial fight before some of the buybacks come in from Pasha, no one's able to make that zip play. They couldn't finish the Rax off. As VP pushed them back.
Look at the gold that he got for the kill on Nisha too. 1,036 gold, even though he just got that Bloodstone, lost some charges initially, got some right back.
I mean, we'll see this again. It looked to be going all pretty much perfect for Secret. It was an incredibly close fight.
It was instant Yules as well on the Axe. The EMP is able to burn his mana. The Egg almost actually pops to get a couple extra auto attacks. Everyone focusing it. But that quick respawn. You see no one. He's going to get brought down here. But since he has this Bloodstone, he's able to respawn very quickly, and he's able to come back into the fight.
And sort of for Secret as well, the fact that Nisha, he took a long time to die. At this point, it looks like, okay, this is great. Yapzor gets this ult off, no one's able to cancel it.
But look at the Bloodstone, right? No one dies, but it's a 6-second respawn, so he comes right back.
The angle that he comes in with the zip.
Yep.
Perfect angle, straight in, bullseye, right on top of Nisha. And suddenly, without the Terrorblade, it starts to fall apart. And Secret, they got some kills, sure, it was still not a bad fight as such, but they didn't get the barracks. As VP holding on. The lead now for Secret, only 1K. This game just got a hell of a lot closer.
Sure did. They split the damage on the Rax too, right? It's down to 70 on the range, and it was down to like 130 or something on the melee Rax, so just a little bit too much split damage. They could have probably focused and gotten one of them down at least. And now they finished up the Radiance 2 on Zai. I mean, that was an opportunity push, right? They got a kill and they wanted to try to get something big out of it, but VP, they got some key item timings. The BKB on Ramses and no one with that Bloodstone. The Bloodstone build we were talking about, how it's going to be that big of a greedy one, so you can set yourself up for later on, because you're not looking for individual pickoffs, but it's also so good versus Necrophos in a lot of games, because you can just reset, not have to deal with that Reaper side timing if you do get ulted.
Got to bear in mind, though, one of the big items wasn't quite there. Nisha didn't have the BKB for that push, so now, with the BKB on its way out...
And the Radiance, too, on the background.
I mean, absolutely. These are two big items that Secret were pushing without. Now that they do it with these items, this is the difficulty stepped up a lot for VP. Killing that Terrorblade with the BKB is it's not easy. They've got to sort of perfectly time the call through the immunity whilst he's low, try and outplay him, make sure that he doesn't find the opportunity to cast Asunder. He gets solo outside of the base. No one, he's straight out of there. He nopes right back to base.
And immediately they have meta, they have BKB. They're gonna look to claim this one, and there is no glyph still for another minute on the side of VP. So Solo, he immediately buybacks just to kind of dissuade them from going for that high ground.
And I feel this as well from Noah. He's got to get the BKB this game.
Yes.
He's saying, I can't afford to go greedy with the Orchid.
No, I mean, it's just too much control. Like, if he gets caught by one little
disable,
snap,
one
little
EMP,
snap, yeah, he just can die.
He's out of the fight, he's useless. So with that BKB, he can get the work done. Secret, the creep wave down bottom in a good position. They'll head to the tier 2 tower.
They're gonna have their Aghanims finished after this tower dies too. It has to get delivered on the courier though for mid one. The VP. They look like they're going for a jump here.
He does. He starts to fight off, gets straight onto the top of the Terrorblade. The Tornado comes back in response. The Reaper sides down. No, he has the BKB out, zips away, but Pasha getting pummeled by Nisha with the Metamorphosis. They're pushing him back. The egg is successful though. Nisha is stunned up. He'll die. He can't get himself out of it all. As that egg from Roger is doing everything for VP. Yapso tries for the freezing field, but VP, they've taken down 3 of them. Zai's still alive. He's trying to head back in a little bit with the Ghost Shroud. He knows that some of VP are really low, but Pasha comes back in with the call. Midbot, he's still trying to fight this. He'll get Ramses. He's looking towards Pasha. Maybe he can get a few of these kills. Pasha hiding in the trees. Midbot alacritied up. He'll go for a TP away. He's not going to make it out, though, as Pasha comes back in for the cleanup dunk. Secret, they lose everybody at that tier 2 tower push. And that time round, it really was Roger getting the Supernova off. Secret, they didn't target the egg enough.
They didn't focus fire it. I saw Nisha, he popped the BKB, he popped his meta after the call as well, and he was hitting something else. I think he was hitting the Storm Spirit. He wasn't actually focus firing the egg, and it allows it to pop, and the control is enough for them. Oh my goodness.
I mean, if they got that egg,
could have been a totally different fight.
They certainly would not have lost their full team.
They had 3,000 gold coming out on the courier too. But the thing is that VP with the heads up instant jump, they also Secret, they weren't right next to Nisha at the start of that. So the Blade Mail actually did a decent amount of damage because they weren't allowed to tornado the axe or use him in the air during that call.
I mean, and that was the fight with the Radiance on Necrophos and with the BKB on the Terrorblade. And it went a whole lot worse than the fight before they had those items. So VP showing us that they can easily tackle that. The BKB pickup as well from No One, keeping him alive and beating No One. Sees an opportunity to get straight back in. Looks towards Puppey. Puppey gets glimmered. Yapsaw, he's got a frostbite, but no further disable, so No One's able to walk himself away to safety. We'll be going back for that Orchid as his next item. He's up to 15 Bloodstone charges after that last fight.
I mean, the thing is, like, with this build, when you do this Bloodstone build instead of the Orchid, you're not fragile. I know Will was talking about it, or Kyle, I'm not too sure on the panel. They were just mentioning how you're pretty beefy on Storm because you get that 400 health talent, you get this Bloodstone, it's 2,500 HP with 10 armor. Yeah. It's pretty hard to actually shred through.
It's Puppey. Let's find Solo. I think Solo's getting out of this one. Secret.
Myth the Reaper, he's down for a very long time on that gen.
A very long time. 30 minutes in, dead for 2 minutes.
They're gonna commit straight for that Roche. Can VP actually contest this, or maybe go for a
should
snipe?
know. They have to know about this. They have such good snipe potential with the Supernova, with the Axe Call, with the Storm Spirit. There's so many ways that VP can make a big play like this. It's just a question if they want to, or if they even realize they need to, as it's half health down on Roshan.
Nisha's saving the meta as well. He's doing it without that, so they can have it for the further push.
They're not going to go over.
They're not
so Secret's going to get this for free again.
It is a bit of a scary area when you don't have one of your heroes. You already know that Secret's position, they probably have ward vision around the area too, and no one, he actually tries to make the zip forward, but
he zips it
Yules.
very late.
He has BKB.
He will get it out, zips back away, he'll be fine. But a little slow on the zip in, maybe hoping for the premise that Secret didn't pick up that Aegis straight away, but even then it was a little after that happened.
Yeah.
Maybe the hope of, maybe an attempt to try and spook them as well. Hey, who knows, sometimes you see a Storm zipping in, you might force out a panic BKB from Nisha, and then suddenly it takes away something that Secret would have for the push. But Secret, of course, they keep their cool, they know that they don't need to be worried about that sort of quick zip, and they're ready to push. Metamorphosis is up on Nisha.
Got Glyph this time.
Still without Solo for 45.
The brew split immediately by Puppey. He's not trying to mess around, he doesn't want to get caught out, but he has to watch out. His Brewlings can die to the Luna Blade.
Pasha has got the call to control the 2 of them. Frostbite's down onto Pasha. Nisha focusing the barracks. They'll jump in with the Vortex. Glimmer Cape keeps Nisha safe. He's still got half of his health pool available, and they will get away with the mid-ranks this time. They take the melee and the raid. Nisha actually
sundered his own illusion when it was low.
Not the ideal Sunder. Doesn't really change his HP at all. He's still fine. They still have the components of Roche. Zai still holding on to the G's. Nisha still with the Aegis.
They got what they
BKB ready. They'll play it safe.
And Solo will finally start respawning. That was a very, very long... That was the longest Chen death I've seen in 30 minutes, I think, ever. But you see how Puppey, no hesitation. Instead of like waiting to try to get a perfect opportunity for the Primal Split, he knows it's like when you see those Monkey Kings when they just like Wukong's command to guard their Terrorblade when he's pushing the high ground, it's very similar to what the Brewmaster just did. Just protect the area of that TV. This VP looking to punch back in. Oh, look at this. Solo has picked up 4 Cloak Aura creeps.
Okay.
It's a little bit different than you see on your normal Chens. Just all that magic resistance he's trying to buff up for his team versus this Necrophos and all the magic damage that comes out from Secret. Different approach.
Down the mid lane they go. Secret start to play around with Pasha. Tornado does hold back the axe. The illusions from Ramses beating down on tier 1 tab.
He's out of mana.
We're up at the top. Yeah, no one. Pasha's not going to be able to jump in without that mana. As now VP start to back away. They may have to leave Pasha for this one. He's popping the BKB. They're still trying to poker this. No one zips in, zips out. VP still very much wanting to get themselves out of this. Again, Solo, he'll be the one left behind. VP managed to get everyone else out of there, as it did feel like a bit of an awkward place for VP to be there, over by Secret's Ancient. So it was unlikely they were really going to be able to do anything or catch them by surprise from that position at all. As soon as sort of Mid1 had his eyes on them, going up from that mid lane up towards that area, Secret knew what they were doing.
I mean, as soon as Pasha gets hit by EMP, VP's like, we can't take a team fight at all. We have no way to get him the mana back. They don't actually have a single pair of Arcane Boots in order to restore that, and Pasha, he doesn't even have a wand. So if he does get hit by any of those, if he gets hit by any of those EMPs without that BKB, it can be absolutely detrimental to VP.
Secret back on form.
Now they've got the level 22. They've got that 10-second reflection cooldown, or minus 10-second reflection cooldown. So we saw it, and especially with versus like the Chen too. Like if the Luna's next to him, the Chen creeps all get shredded by those glaives. Secret.
Straight back down towards the bottom. Puppey. Terms on his way out, trying to bump himself up to that 3rd point in the ultimate.
Look at that beautiful view from the Snipes lounge there.
There's no one. Not the most crazy game from him, but still keeping himself above the average.
Yep.
As the full butterfly does get finished now for Ramses. So have that extra little chance of sort of staying alive against the beatdown from Nisha. So Nisha, what's he going to look for?
He's going to go Scotty. He's just tanking up. Yeah. Tanking up, BKB piercing slows. You know, it's like the usual build-up for a Terrorblade. But yeah, that butterfly evasion could come into play. We definitely have to watch out for it. How are those BKB timings? 8 seconds on Ramses. How's no one doing as well? No one's also at 8 seconds. Nisha's got a little bit more to work with that 9-second BKB. Secret spreading themselves out, getting these bounty runes for now. And Zai also getting toward that critical mass as well. Has finished the pipe earlier and has queued up a heart very close to that one. He's going to be very tough for them to bring down. He has so many different ways to play in defensively, and he has a cheese on top too.
See here, Puppey versus Roger both getting so much done in these fights, the way that we've seen Puppey go in this primal splits. At the same time, Roger, some of those supernovas, really just keeping the game going for VP, as Secret had many an opportunity to roll over there. Got Valant Andre there. Enjoying the game, watching the local boys on VP to see if they can do it again here in another ESL. So far in this game 1, this best of 3, Secret really seem to have VP under control for the most part.
For the most part. Just gotta watch the positioning once those BKBs start wearing down, and looks like no one, he wants to try to get some more control for his team. Like we were mentioning, it seems like so much pressure is on Pasha to really get like the perfect calls every single time. So no one's gonna try to help his buddy out here. Go for that Aghanim skill. Might still see him change it up, but this could actually be a good way to control versus that side of Secret. Just that follow-up that they seem to need, and also very good follow-up for the Supernova to help him.
Already, Roger's been caught on the front. He gets the Supernova on Pasha. He has the call to save with the Invoker. Puppey's trying to take down the Supernova. Can he do it in time? They will. They'll get rid of the Supernova. BKB and Metamorphosis popped by Nisha, and they'll turn towards no one. No one's able to BKB and zip away, but Ramses caught in the middle of it. They've lost the Luna. They're going to lose Pasha as well, as he's trapped in the trees. VP trying in almost a show of desperation to come out with an aggressive play, and they just can't. The bring down there from Puppey just in time for the Sunstrike to connect, to really rub salt into the wounds. As VP, they lose 4. They do not get anything from trying to invade Secret's jungle. And now Secret, they're ready to push back, strike back. There's no buyback on Pasha. Pretty much their biggest form of initiation and way of starting the fights, and there's no Supernova Eve.
And there's no Supernova, exactly. It just seems so difficult for VP to actually take the control in the fights and not allow them to kill the egg. Only one target.
Just find mid one alone.
Okay. Well, that's step one.
He's taken the Invoker out of this push. Is it enough?
I mean, it's gonna slow down their push.
Secret do seem to be backing up. They don't want to try and push it without that Invoker.
Gives them the tip as well. Ouch.
And there's little things like that. You know, mid one getting caught out alone. It does shake up the momentum for Secret. Gives VP that extra chance to wait for their ults to come back and for them to kick back down the line.
Man, these fights.
Look at this. This is the perspective. As soon as he sees mid one, no hesitation, immediately.
What? He's very split from his team there. Look, the rest of his team is in that mid lane. He wanted to try to push the creep wave, I guess, onto that high ground, but very isolated versus Storm Spirit. Bit of a mistake there by mid one. But yeah, these team fights, Secret, they seem to have like a better control of the area of the fights, right? Even though you're fighting versus a Supernova, there isn't that follow-up control. It's just really the axe call that they have to worry about, as we've been mentioning over and over again here. On Secret, they can just play around it much easier with that Primal Split. And now, this is something that you do have to factor in, is Crystal Maiden is now level 20. So 250 attack speed.
He's got it.
Versus the Phoenix. Yapster could definitely be looking to bring down that egg. He's actually queued up an AC on Crystal Maiden, by the way.
We'll see if he goes for it. I do hope he does. As hey, at this point, it certainly would help them have that extra bit of effort to take down the racks and add to the siege.
I mean, as usual, Yapsor is he's getting pretty close to mid one's net worth.
I like this as well. Look at no one. Is he still queuing it up on the Storm?
Still has the Aghanims,
He's
yeah.
going
That's
for
what we're talking about.
Yeah.
They need more control.
This is what you need against the 250 plus attack speed CM. You've got to stop them from hitting the egg.
They just need something to be able to control the follow-up control versus this Terrorblade, because as soon as I see Nisha, he gets the meta, the BKB off in the team fights, it looks so scary for VP to walking into that one. Because even Ramses, sure, he walks in, but then he just gets reflected, and then it's even worse. It's like a BKB Terrorblade hitting you, as well as this really, really farmed Luna that's also going to be bringing you down. Ramses looks like he's going for the Eclipse build, it seems now, as he takes the mini stuns instead of that lifesteal we usually see. I guess he's feeling man fighting is not an option in this game, so he has to try to do it in a different manner, going for these just little interrupts that could actually stop a Sunder play.
It could stop a Sunder.
A couple different things.
It absolutely could. Stop a Sunder, could make it that little harder for Puppey to get off the Primal Split. A lot of things that could come into factor. As long as Ramses can get in position, can commit with the Eclipse, especially when the BKBs are down. Obviously, we've seen a fair few usages of the BKBs, so the timings, the durations are getting shorter.
Yeah, and Nisha's still at 8. And the other two on the side of VP also. I mean, Ramses has an 8, no one has a 7-second, and Pasha's also at 7, so still relatively high, but smoke on smoke battle.
For the third time, VP will contest Roche. They're heading over, jump in from Pasha, they're looking towards Zai. Zai's able to use up, Primal Split is going to be successful. Ramses committing with the BKB and the Eclipse for Supernova's down, but Nisha with the BKB focuses the egg. The egg's going to be taken out, and with the Metamorphosis, he turns towards Ramses. Yapsor still kept alive, but the Reaper Sights down, bringing Ramses low. Ramses will fall. They'll look to Pasha. Pasha actually able to blink out. Somehow being able to blink away, but Puppey is on top of him with the remaining time of the Primal Split. They get Pasha as well.
I mean, Zai and Puppey leading the charge.
GG's called.
Wow.
GG's, there's no Luna, there's no buyback.
Nope.
No buyback on the Luna, no buyback on the Axe, no buyback on the Phoenix. They cannot deal with it anymore in this game. VP is Secret. Take game 1.
I mean, Zai and Puppey, they just walk in and they're like, we don't care if we're the ones initiate on it. Zai is so tanky with the build that he went. This is the build that we'd love to see. This Yule's pipe into Radiance, he gets the heart afterwards. He doesn't care if they focus fire him. They're gonna have to blow so much to try to kill this man. Puppey instantly just pops the split, and from there, the team fight looks so difficult already. We see no one, he jumps to the backlight to try to focus fire the Crystal Maiden, but this Crystal Maiden has Guardian Greaves, and I believe a Hyperstone at that point. He couldn't actually bring him down. That was the whole entire Storm's jump, and he couldn't kill the Crystal Maiden.
And sort of hero-wise as well, I just feel like we're seeing so many times sort of these games where you have a Necrophos in one lane and a Terrorblade in the other. If you don't deal with these heroes by a certain point of time and have a good way to deal with them in the late game, they just become unkillable. There's literally no way to get Nisha out of the fight once he pops a BKB, stands at the front. And as we saw Zai as well, even just after getting those first 2 items, the Hood of Defiance and the Yule Scepter, you have to commit so much to actually take the Necrophos out of a team fight.
And also they were able to, like, for me, for Secret, they were able to run this like 4-man unit where they were constantly able to take these team fights, assert that map control, take those early towers, while Nisha is just farming the whole time. And then once they have that map control, they're able to secure the Roshan. That was a big thing for me too, is they got the 2 Roshes. They got the instant cheese, and they got the pressure. Exactly.
VP did not get anywhere near to the pit in terms of trying to stop them from getting away with it. So as it were, Secret taking this game 1. VP, they're gonna have to pull something different out if they wanna have a shot at this series in game 2. Back to you guys on the panel.
Thank you very much. Yes, Sody Pixel and Fogged with our commentary in the first game. We'll be back with them, of course, for game number 2 in this best of 3. Let's find out what our panel members thought of that one. Kyle, Blitz, and Trent are back with us. Kyle, we'll start with you. It's good performance.
Oh yeah,
good game.
It was a great game. I felt like it kind of exemplified both teams' strengths. Where Secret, I think their itemization was on point, and the way they were taking these engagements, they got every Roche, like the way they controlled the map, like they're just playing crisper as a squad. And Puppy's Brew, that last team fight, you could see they BKB Pasha blinks in to taunt the Brewlings. Ramses hits them for like 5 seconds. Puppy doesn't even die. Like that was their whole contribution, these 2 cores, and they just crushed through.
Yeah, well, it wasn't all plain sailing for Secret, was it? There were moments in there, and there was a couple of very good team fights also for Virtus.pro.
Yeah, I think going high ground against VP's lineup was always going to be a little bit difficult. Some of the storm tricks that you can do, but I mean, at some point, there was like this air of inevitability, especially when you looked at how the team fights were starting. If VP didn't get the ideal start, it was just a crush. And even when they got a pretty good start, it was somewhat one-sided when the team fights happened.
Yeah, a couple of team fights towards the end, Trent kind of pulled it back to Virtus.pro, but as Will said, it did feel like it's just a matter of time in the end.
Yeah, that's such a good lead early. Like, I know it ended up being a kind of a long game, but like at the very beginning, just all that roaming that was going on from mid 1 really set a pretty solid pace for the side of Team Secret. It gave tons of space to Puppy in the mid lane.
And not just that, like it's just the way Secret plays, right? Because you look at mid 1's items and his net worth in that game, it's not very high, but what he's picked up, Spirit Vessel, BKB Ag, those are all incredibly high impact items for an Invoker. The same with Puppy, who was able to go like drums, Yules, pops drums every time during an egg.
Right, and you're looking at a Grieve CM too, right?
Yeah.
Like, yes, you're lowering it on this mid core, but it's being spread and it's being used to like the utmost efficiency.
And it puts more emphasis on each individual, like communicating what they're looking to buy, recognizing what the team might need to win a fight. But if you can spread the wealth and everyone also makes good decisions, it's great for the overall economy.
All right, we'll have a chat about MVP in just a moment. But first of all, let's catch up with Purge and see what pearls of wisdom he's got for us now.
I'm glad you guys were talking about mid 1's playstyle in the early game, because I thought that was the most interesting part about how this game worked out for Secret. They had the Invoker in the mid lane against the Storm. Now, normally when you go Quas Wex, what ends up happening is you don't get as many last hits, you don't have as much of damage, therefore the other guy usually gets a lot more than you. But what was kind of cool about this is that, yes, he gets worse last hits, but he can contest and possibly kill the Storm if anybody rotates over, which did happen sometimes. So that basically forces Storm back into the jungle to try to pick up his level 6 so he can actually do something on the map. So this means that mid 1 can actually leave his lane, and there isn't as much of a threat because Storm isn't necessarily in that lane the whole time dominating, pushing lanes. So this means that mid 1 can basically move around the map and make sure that his other cores do really well. And since he's Quas Wex, he's not going to be that much of a carry, which is going to allow him to stabilize Zai's lane and let Zai get a Radiance and eventually become a carry himself. So he, unlike yesterday, we watched Ori in one game where he was tiny and he was roaming a lot and it didn't really work out. But this game it actually felt good. Mid 1 was going from gank to gank, lane to lane, runs all the way top here, gets spotted by a ward. No kills happen, but later on there's a dive mid with Phoenix going on Brewmaster, but he rotates in last second. This ends up getting a kill on the Phoenix. And that was no one's first contribution to the game in a team fight sense. So basically he's not only stabilizing his lanes, he's also making sure that no one doesn't get ahead in a huge way in terms of gold. All of these attempts for no one basically fail. And later on he rotates bottom, they end up killing the Chen, and then finally there was that really big impactful fight in the mid lane. He goes top to stop the Luna from getting free farm. And then eventually there was that dive mid, I think it's about here, where they end up diving, trying to kill the Phoenix. Storm comes out of the jungle. This is Storm's second rotation in the game, has been basically AFK farming up until here. And right before he's about to kill him, he uses Ghost Walk, all on Quas, by the way, so that by the time he chases for that eventual fight where they dive under the Storm on the Ancients, he's full health. He ends up getting a snipe with the Tornado, which is really effective over here. And then Yapster was able to follow up. So at this whole point, he's actually been even on net worth with the Storm. The Storm got a little bit ahead right before his death there, but despite all this time that he's not in lane, he's still equal to the Storm. It's just incredible play, and it really creates a lot of space for Secret.
Good stuff. Dankeschön, Berge. Yes, great that he picked up mid one. Also talking about on the power because he is our MVP for game number 1. We'll take a look at his statistics right now. Gents, you all right with that one?
I mean, anytime you hit 80+% kill participation, I mean, how do you really warrant giving it to somebody else?
Yep. He's been very good, Will, this tournament, I feel.
Yeah.
Like a standout player rather than just, you know, he always does his job. He's quite regular, isn't he? He's quite reliable, but he seems to have had more standout matches this event.
I think it's partially because he's also completely changed his style from what he normally plays. Because last year we saw him as more of the carry type mid where he would just win games for you. Now it's just, okay, I'm going to roam everywhere to give everyone on my team farm. I think he does such a good job of controlling the map pretty much by himself in the mid game. Like post-laning phase, this is the guy that makes everything happen on the map.
Right,
for Team
because
Secret.
like who's usually roaming at that time is the supports, right? But they have this other thing going on where Puppey and Yapsor, they're getting very greedy. I mean, you saw it just in the videos that Pert was showing. Mid one, his net worth is pretty low. It's like even with the Storm Spirit, but you look at those two supports, they've creeped up, both of them above both supports on the Dire side, and the CM's like almost doubling up the other support on the other side, so kind of brutal.
Tough stuff. Plenty for Virtus.pro to think about during the break, which is where we're headed to right now. Don't go too far away though. Secret versus Virtus.pro, game number 2, coming up next.